Hello, good evening, howdy, how are you? Hello everybody, good evening. I hope you're having a good day. We're saying hello here from Ukraine, and I have got a special guest co-hosting with me today, ID Peter.
Hello, everyone on the platform. It's good to have you.
Thank you for joining us. Guys, as you're coming in, please start to share immediately. Thank you very much for doing the honors of sharing and also inviting your friends. Hello, Jake. It's been a while, Jake. Where have you been? I noticed I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're good. Thank you for joining us this evening and welcome back. Holiness, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're okay. So guys, welcome. Before we go ahead, please guys, let's start sharing immediately so that others can join us in this program. Today we're having attribute. Eucharia, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining. Yes, we have got King ID Peters here. Eucharia already knows you. I think many people already know ID, so he doesn't need any introduction. Thank you all guys for acknowledging him and also for joining us. So guys, without further ado, please start to share immediately. Thank you very much. Mr. B, oh my God, thank you for joining us. I have something to say about your cooking. It's like what you're doing to us on Facebook, especially those of us that are here. But anyway, this is a program. I shouldn't be whinging about food. Oh gosh. Hello everyone. For those people that may be asking where Julie is fine. Julie is right here, but Julie is working behind the scenes. So she may be contacting some of you. I'll tell you a lot more about it as more people come in so that I wouldn't have to repeat myself several times. Hello Adamu, good evening. Thank you for joining. Hello Sterling, thank you for joining. Oluwatoyin, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you all guys. I appreciate you joining. Today we are doing attributes. Attributes of Dr. Sundays that you chose, that we like, and we would like to develop. And today's attribute is credible. Credible. So it's an interesting attribute. All the attributes, as you know, I think they are interesting. And I know that some of you also find them interesting. So really guys, I really want your engagement with this today. So make sure that you tell us your opinion, your thoughts on these attributes. If you have already developed these attributes, how did you develop the attributes? How is it working for you? How has it been for you? What do people say about you because you have attributes? These attributes, what are the pros and the cons of these attributes? Just share your thoughts with us. Let us all grow together. You know, 7 p.m. is our time. Maybe I should say it's my time of learning. This is my school lesson time, and I really enjoy doing it publicly with you. So guys, don't forget, you can call us. You can call on Julie Ngoya's messenger. So you can go straight to Julie Ngoya's messenger and call to contribute verbally here live, or you can write your comments now. We'll try our hard. We will try, or we'll definitely make every effort to read out your comments. So guys, please, I've only seen one person shared so far. Please guys, share. I think it's Mr. B that just shared. So can everyone else please share, so that the more people, the merrier. Hello Bert, good evening. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you all. Guys, everything that you see, any programs that you see live on Dr. Sunday's page, all are available on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. So if you go to YouTube and you type in Sunday Adelaja Official, it will take you to a picture. Dr. Sunday's picture is always the first, and you see him in a blue jacket and a green shirt and green bow tie. Click on that. Once you click on that, it will take you to his homepage channel, and his channel homepage, and you will see list of, well, not list actually, you'd see slates of playlist after playlist after playlist. So everything that you sing here, or you see in the 9 p.m. program, or any program at all, they're all and more on Sunday Adelaja Official. So please check it out. Then also you have the blog. If you're a reader and you love reading, or you want to see other materials, then you can go to sundayadelajablog.com. That's sundayadelajablog.com. And of course, everything again, as you see here, they're also available as an audio. So you can go to SoundCloud or Telegram. Telegram? Yes, Telegram. I'm from London. Sometimes I want to say Telegraph because there's Telegraph newspaper, but it's actually Telegram. There's no excuse. It's just me and my brain, how it works sometimes. But Telegram, I won't forget next time. Telegram and SoundCloud. So they're both your friends. You can get easy access to audio materials of Dr. Sunday. Audio is really good for those who are limited with data, especially those in Africa. So do somebody a favor, just show your brother love or your sister love in Africa, download it for them and send it to them via WhatsApp. So you can also do that, send it to them via WhatsApp. Via Telegram or SoundCloud. You can download all of Dr. Sunday's materials, so you can go there anytime you like. Also guys, thank you so much for your engagement yesterday. The new program that we started, which we called Review, and that's reviewing Dr. Sunday's philosophies and thoughts. And we started with an appeal that he did some time ago, not that long, regarding his teachings, or the program that he started a few months ago now on the something about, well, it started as the resurrection of paganism. So the death of Christianity and the resurrection of paganism. That started in African church. That started on the 21st, I believe, of July, and Dr. Sunday did a wonderful appeal. So we started with that video first, and we had so much engagement yesterday, guys. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We will continue. We're on that review of the short videos of philosophies and thoughts of Dr. Sunday. So watch out for those videos, and so that we can do our reviews on them. ID, you want to say something?
I want to say something.
Yes. Say hello to people before we start this.
Okay, hello everybody on the platform. It's good to have you here. It's my honor to co-host this special program with the Queen Mayowa.
Thank you very much.
Every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. So guys, that's just a few announcements that I've got for you. But actually, I just remembered also that the movement is still on, guys. So please don't forget to join and engage in the Move agents and the Move pages. So we have pages, we have a page, we have groups. So it's Movement Against Deception in the Church. The groups also is called Movement Against Deception in the Church. And if you want to call in the evening, so Dr. Sunday started a few days ago, so you can call live after his teaching in the evenings. So do so by calling Move Agents Matic. That's Move Agents Matic. That's a page, just a profile page on Facebook. You can write to us to say, I want to speak to Dr. Sunday during the program, and then we'll put you on the queue so that you can talk live as well. Guys, how are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Who have I not said hello to? Hello, Stella. Hello, Roger. Patrick, good evening. David, good evening. Thank you for joining. Who else? Anu, good evening. How are you? Thank you. Beth, good evening. Paul, how are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you all. I think I've said hello to everyone now. Staring, thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. So without further ado, guys, share, and invite your friends. So today's attribute is credible. Before I start, let me just give you a little rundown on attributes. These attributes, we have 50 in total. And how did we arrive at 50 attributes? These were Dr. Sunday's attributes that you guys or followers of Dr. Sunday's mentees, people around the world, they send us attributes of Dr. Sunday that they love, during Dr. Sunday's Golden Jubilee. And what did we do? We collated them and selected 50 of those attributes. Why 50? Because it was Dr. Sunday's Golden Jubilee. That's why we selected just 50 of the attributes that we received. And then after the celebration, we thought, let's discuss these attributes in the numbers one by one, just to get more familiar with them and talk about how we could develop them and imbibe these attributes in ourselves. Because if other people are loving it about Dr. Sunday, there's no reason why we cannot develop it for ourselves as well and be great as well. So if you've already got these attributes, well, you're a step ahead of most of us. Then please stay tuned and tell us how you develop these attributes and what we can do also to imbibe these attributes in our lives. So today we are number 22, I believe, and it's credible. So what does this attribute mean? I can read the definition that I have, and I hope ID also have his own definition, but I'll read my definition first, and then we'll go with ID's definition, yeah? Okay, so my definition says, and it's taken from Google. You know, Google is my friend, so I always go to Google for most things. Google and Dr. Sunday is like my reference points for that. So we have able to be believed. That's what it means. It says able to be believed, convincing. Few people, and then there's an example that says few people found his story credible. So that is one definition. And it says it's synonymous with acceptable, trustworthy, reliable, dependable, sure, good, valid. Let's see more. It also has feasible, viable, tenable, sustainable, maintainable. That's like another definition of credible. And then it says the existing list did not form a credible basis for free and fair election. Okay, so we can use credible in an election as well. So in a nutshell, credible means that able to be believed, convincing, and it's acceptable, trustworthy. So what do I have to say about it? What do you have in your definition?
Okay, actually, I don't want to read from my definition. I have a definition.
Okay, all right.
Okay, credible. When we talk about credible.
Yes.
Everyone is credible.
Did you just say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody is credible.
Okay.
Dr. Sunday is credible. So, like, we are not here to maybe worship Dr. Sunday. We've seen that he has developed this gift, and he always tell us that what you see anyone, if anybody was successful in doing something, that you too, you can do it.
Yes. So
everyone is credible. How do I know that? Oh, you carry the image of God. So that is credibility.
I'm liking this angle of this. Okay, let's go.
So the fish is credible when it's in the water. The credibility of the fish is in the water. Okay? So the credibility of the birds is in
the air.
In the air where they take their flight. Okay. So every one of us, you are breathing is a sign of that you are credible. You are credible on a particular facet of life. So as I, everyone on the planet, everyone is credible. The image of God is in you. Is a sign that you are credible.
Wow. Guys, I am liking where ID is just taking us to with this word credible, because I wasn't even thinking that. I just want to go straight to the point. I am a total straight shooter when it comes to things like this. Credible is like you're trustworthy, you're this, that's it. And then when he first started and he said, everyone is credible, I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? How dare you say that? You know, we're talking about how you can develop these attributes. If everyone is credible, what's the point of being discussing it and how people can develop it? But I calmed myself down and I listened and I got some wisdom from him. And the wisdom that I got from him was when he started saying that a fish is credible in the water. So the idea has nicely taken us to purpose. You know, it's taking us to purpose. That if we are in our purpose, because whenever somebody tells me that a fish is comfortable in the water, birds is credible in the air, it tells me something. It tells me that that's where they're supposed to be. That's where they are in their element. So if we as human beings are credible, it also means that we are in our element when we are in our purpose. So ID, with your ID wisdom, there is no church in Nigeria wisdom.
Okay.
I like that.
Somebody's just writing on the platform that he actually don't agree that everyone is credible.
Yes, but I was on that road. I was on that road as well, right? But the angle you took it, I got it. I grasped it. So I'm going to read your comments, guys. But hello, Big Mommy. How are you? Good evening. Hi, Joyce. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Miss you, Big Mommy. Okay. Joyce says, hello, thank you very much, Joyce. I appreciate that. So Brett said, I actually don't agree that everyone is credible. Some people can be trusted can't be trusted even in the church. So they're not credible. Brett, I also agree with you. But, you know, ID just took it to another level. You know, if we're talking of the definition of credible, absolutely, I'm on your side. But I took it to the level of creation and the level of purpose. So that we can be credible, or we are credible when only, so it's not saying that we're just credible by default. It's also saying that we're credible only if we're in our purpose. Fish in the water is credible. Being an image of God makes us credible. But we also need to identify that and be in our purpose to be validated as credible. So I agree with both of you guys. And I really do like Bert that you came back, because I'm sitting next to ID and I'm thinking, what's this guy talking about? Is it for real? So I am glad that you said that, but I get it. And I know that you get it as well now. Thank you so much. Then who do we have? So hi, Kende, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Benga, thank you for joining us. Who else have got a comment there so that I can read out? Thank you, Patrick. Right. So let's continue this discussion. ID, do you want to say anything about what Bert said?
Okay, let me reply to what.
Just in general, not reply, because I don't want you to.
No, it's not in. I want to address it generally. What you call the church, that is a building, that is a business center, that is not the church. As I'm sitting down here, I am the church, and my wife is the church. You that is watching, you are the church. So we have misconceptualized what is church. We mean building and the organization. No, that is not the church. Okay, to further digress to what to your words, is that place that you call church is they have drifting people away from their purpose and their calling. You understand what?
Yeah, I understand, but I think
so many people are in the place that you call churches. They have been messed up because everybody is just looking up to the pulpit. They want to be on the pulpit where only one man is performing, or maybe the choir is singing, but somebody who is credibility is in organization, not just in the forward. Okay, everybody is credible with their gift, and we have many gifts. Everybody are not the same. So God has given everybody his own sphere of influence. So that is where we should go to develop ourselves. in the area of our gifting, not in that building that we call church.
Yes. Okay. That's a good point as well. Thank you very much, ID. And I think by now, I think Bert do understand the angle that we've taken this. But if we're going to focus on the dictionary meaning of credibility, that meaning is just being honest. And I do get what Bert is saying, that there may be people, I know you use the word church, not because we are discussing church, but because church is considered to be a place where people should be honest, or is a holy place, or people there would have integrity. So that's the reason you used it, that people are not honest. So I think Bert is going on the dictionary definition of what credibility means. So we're not going to say everybody is credible, because otherwise we cannot then distinguish credibility, because a lot of people lie to us. But in the case of purpose, then if you are in your purpose, you're a fish in water or the bird in the air, then absolutely, if you're aligned with your purpose, you are absolutely credible. So I do agree, okay, with both of you. All right, let's move on. I have another definition here, and the definition is from vocabulary. It says someone who is credible is honest. So should we go on this? So we've understand the purpose side, we've understand the religious side of it as well. So let's go into the side of actually developing these attributes as it is characterized and known in the world. Okay, so should we stick to that? Because there's so many things we could discuss about every attribute and this particular attribute. So someone who's credible is honest and believable. A pathological liar, for example, might not be the most credible witness for the case against the bank robber. So similar to the word like reliable and plausible, credible is an adjective that comes to us from the Latin. I don't think I need to go into that. Let me just go. I don't need to know the background of it, where it came from. So let's stick to this credibility, the word credible as in honest, reliable. Let's do that. So Theophilus is saying, hello, King ID. I love this man.
Thank you.
We
so
all
much.
love ID.
I love you too.
I call him CEO of No Church in Nigeria. And you know, his laughter is distinctive. Even if you're in bed, you would hear him from downstairs laughing. So let's go. Credibility. How can we, guys, maybe you can help us out. How can we develop these attributes? Because he says honest, somebody that is honest. It means that to establish being honest, you have to engage with a lot of people, and also you have to come true with something. So if you say if something is one way, you have to say yes, it is exactly that way. If there's a question somebody is asking you, you have to give an honest opinion. But everything really sounds ambiguous to me right now. How can we break it down and practicalize this word credible? So what would you say that are ways of developing credibility or being credible? How can we cultivate credibility? And if you've already developed these attributes, tell us about your experience of these attributes and how it's helped you. Because, you know, we've discussed, this is the 22nd word that we are discussing, the 50 in total, and then many that we've talked about as well. How do we imbibe this? What is the benefit of it? Because I use the word credible already a lot. You know, maybe I might say I'm credible in one angle, but maybe not credible in another angle. Should I say that I am credible, or should I say, you know, I'm not credible? You know, does it mean that you have to be consistent every day in everything that you do has to be credible? The person that this attribute was selected for or given to, which is Dr. Sunday, is considered credible not because of one thing that he did, is for many things over many years, and because he is consistent with them, is well known by many people all over the world for examples that he's shown or results that he's achieved. Or, you know, you can refer back to what he's saying. You can go back and check it, and you find it to be so, as with everything that he does and he says. So let's go to how can we individually develop this attribute. So if you've got answer for us, please share it with us. It would really be great for us to know more, because we are all learning here. I especially, this is my evening classes. Hello, Mr. B said that, oh sorry, Wale Banjoko said, credibility comes from knowing who you are, especially in Christ. I think that is ID's arena, and that's why ID was talking about fish in water, bird in the air. Absolutely spot on, and I think ID will probably say a lot more about this.
Thank you, Wale Banjoko. You just echo what was in me. The first step for us to cultivate or develop credibility in our life is, first of all, we have to be honest with ourselves.
I like that.
When doctor was teaching about
five levels
of truth, first of all, you have to be honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself will expose you of who you are. So, you know, doctor was explaining that there are some people, they will just go to the mirror and just put some pancakes.
Or they look in the camera and put the pancake.
Yes, yeah. So that they will quickly run away. They don't want to face themselves with who they are. Okay, so the first step is you being honest to yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. Okay. That you may lie outwardly, but the truth is inside you. Okay. Okay. That is why everybody on the platform, we have conscience. So there are some people that maybe they don't listen to that their conscience. There is conscience within them, even though they may be saying another thing, but their conscience is telling them the right thing. Okay, so that is the first step for us to develop credible.
Okay, so if I get this correctly, to develop the attribute credible or credibility in what you're doing or your life, you first need to be honest with yourself. And a practical way to achieve that or to action honesty with yourself is you gave us an example of the 5 levels of truth. Yes. So you first tell yourself the truth about yourself. So this is getting really interesting, but it's also getting quite deep because, you know, I know that we all think that we like to say that we're honest, and, you know, not until the 5 levels was taught to me. My honesty is just simple things that I know and just sharing the honest truth with other people, but it's never from myself, telling myself the truth about myself. But I know a lot more about this now. I also know that that's also another way to communicate with God, you know, just talking about yourself, what you did and what you didn't do, what you know, what you didn't know, why you did some things. So the first thing of credibility is to be honest with yourself. So Tit, go on.
Okay. After that, after the first part, you should be humble enough to accept what God has shown you. That is, I'm talking about purpose now. Because until okay, let me cite the sample now. Dr. Sunday, he developed one gift first, and it was credible in one area, and other aspect.
You're looking at me. Go on.
So, okay. This is how it is. When you are credible in the area of your calling, the area of your gifting, okay, every other area you will develop, that credibility that you develop in one area would expand.
Okay, so you're saying that developing credibility in one area or being credible in one area would help you with other areas, or
no, first of all, you have to start somewhere. You don't start broadly.
Okay.
Your gift is what you want to cultivate.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm talking about you cultivating credible in the area of your gifting.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think I'm getting that, guys. Can you write what you are getting from ID and from this conversation now, so that we can all learn together and rub our minds together? Mr. Banjoko is writing now, so I think that we should read that. It says, Pastor Sunday is credible because because what he is saying now is also what he was saying if you look back on his tapes. That's true. That's true. That's very true. Thank you very much. So, because I have seen some of Dr. Sunday's previous recordings from 10 years ago, and a lot of those information in that he's sharing now is also there. So credibility also span through time. So again, now the first thing is to be honest with yourself. The second thing is that you need time. So it's something that over what's the word, is time, it's not time bound, which means is timeless. So whatever you say, whatever you do, this credibility is sounding more like truth to me. You know, it's sounding more and more like truth, but maybe using another vocabulary, but maybe it has another side to it, another angle that I'm yet to discover. But first thing is, it is something that you have to be honest with yourself, timeless and consistent. So somebody else has written that. Chimizi, thank you very much. Consistency, thank you very much. So Mr. Banjoko already also wrote that. So we're getting somewhere with this, guys. Thank you very much for your contribution. David said, ID is right. You have to be honest with yourself. But by the time you start lying to yourself, then there is a problem. Okay, thank you. So truth is there. Truth never changes. Thank you very much. That's Aisha. That is very true. Aisha is also agreeing. Vivian saying, my site is really not cooperating this morning. It's keep freezing. Oh, your website. So I'm sorry about that, Vivian. It might just be a temporary problem, and hopefully will get resolved. Ucheria says, you're right. You must make a conscious effort to be honest to yourself first in order to be credible. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So guys, keep your comment coming. Theophilus, thank you. We all, yes, we have to be. Thank you. Yes. All right.
And also to continue with that,
yeah.
You know, for you to develop your credibility, for you to authenticate your credibleness, you have to look for a mentor.
Okay.
Who is credible. Okay. You look towards this your mentor, you submit yourself to this your mentor who is credible. So he will help you also. What I mean is mentorship. Mentorship will help you communicating with your mentor, or also discussing some things with your mentor will help you, because he is credible. And so if you make mistake or if anything goes wrong, your mentor will tell you, okay, look, I have been there, this is the place that you should go. And also your association also matters a lot, who you associate yourself with. You cannot tell me that you are the only credible in the group that you are. Okay, so what that will mean, it will not aid your growth. You have to look for association that will help you to develop this your gift.
Okay, so the two things that ID just mentioned there, which is one is mentorship, gets a credible mentor. But I have a question about that, because if you're trying to establish for yourself what it takes to be credible, how then do you even identify somebody that is credible? Yes, somebody like Dr. Sunday, you know, but the many people, he does do mentorship program, for example, and many people see him on Facebook and, you know, media, and they said, okay, that's my mentor. But, you know, I always think that mentorship is something that you can actually access. You can access Dr. Sunday, but you have frequent access to them. You can, you know, follow what they're doing, and then also they can help to guide you as well. But if you're at a stage where you're trying to establish who is a credible person, maybe in your locality, and you don't even know how to be credible, how do you choose that kind of person? How do you choose a mentor? Because for me, a lot of people have said their consistency is important. Yes, Dr. Sunday's when we can see that he's consistent. And if you're going to choose a mentor, in what area you're going to choose a mentor, there's so many questions. So I'm very careful with mentorship and, you know, people going with mentors, because, you know, how do you establish people's, especially locally? I think Dr. Sunday being a public figure is easier to see and see what happens, but other people that you're more closer to you, how do you establish that? But I am learning, so I'm sure that we're going to find an answer before we end the program here today. Then you also said the other thing you need to have, which is the
association.
Yes, and then somebody wrote that birds of the same feather flocks together. That one, you know, I hear it a lot. You know, I have this pet thing for all this kind of saying that birds of the same feather flocks together. I also believe that, especially Dr. Sunday has helped me to believe that you don't have to be like your environment. Yes, even though 50% of who you are is your environment, but it almost finalize somebody, or maybe to use a harsher word is condemn them, if I am told that birds of the same feather flocks together. For example, Dr. Sunday being here in Ukraine is nothing like Ukrainian. In fact, Dr. Sunday is nothing like anybody, and he has many people around him, but he doesn't flock with them. He flocks like his inside. So words like that, and, you know, saying that I understand where it's coming from, but we also have to be careful in it as well, because we also need to be light. If you know what I mean, we also need to be light in darkness.
Yes, I understand what you mean. But actually, you see, when you are starting,
yeah,
you understand, you are on this level on the ground with many people.
Yes.
Dr. Sunday is, you know, when people run, they run with many people.
Yes.
When you fly with few.
Okay.
You understand? So the issue of association matters a lot, because even if a goat keeps company with a lion, it will behave like a lion. Let me repeat that again. If a goat or a sheep keep company with a lion, it will behave the same way with a lion in a matter of time.
Yeah, I have actually seen on YouTube before a human baby behaving like a dog because she was raised in the dog pen, you know, the mother didn't care or something. Yeah, go on, I'm hearing you.
That is the power of association.
Yeah.
Because he associates a lot with all those animals. So one day he will behave like that.
Okay.
Do you know that if you go and what do you call, you have an egg of an eagle, and that egg hatch, you let hen to hatch that egg.
Yeah.
That eagle will not believe that is an eagle.
Okay.
His mind will be thinking, okay, this is the people that I grew up with. So it will be just.
Yeah.
So the power of association, the people that you associate your life with. That is why Les Brown said that only quality people, OQP. So the people in your life.
Quality people what?
Yeah, only quality people. The people in your life, are they moving you forward? Okay. Are they adding to your credibility? Are they making you to be credible in your craft? Okay. If they are not, they are subtracting something from you. There's no two ways about it.
Okay. I'm a bit skeptical about that, but one thing that I know definitely is that your environment is a mirror of who you are. So I agree with that, in terms of your environment is 50% of who you are, and it speaks a lot of who you are. If you don't like something, you don't like your situation, or you don't like how you are right now, change your environment. And when you change the environment, you also change the people around you. But I don't want to say that the exception to rules. I just want to go by the rule rather than the exceptions. We also need to take responsibility. The reason I always have like the opposite side, because I know that there's two sides to everything. And if we focus on the one side where it's to do with what we gain from our environment or what other people brings to us, I feel sometimes that we lose our responsibility as somebody that also should be serving our world and should be creating and giving something back to the world. So it's not only that we soak out of this world, it's also very important, if not even more or equally important, that we are also giving back. So we create our own environment. We are responsible for our environment. We are responsible for our friends. We are responsible for what people are like in our environment. So that onus, that responsibility needs to be upon us, and we need to take it very seriously. So I'm trying to say here is that yes, environment is important, but use your responsibility to take care of that environment, to take care of it in terms of the people that you choose to hang with, the people that you're with, the things that you do, the direction that you go. You create your environment, because your environment is a mirror of who you are. Okay? So, what are people saying? Let's see. Chimzi says, suppose your mentor is incredible, but you'd hold them in high regards. Okay, I have a question to that question. How do you hold them in high regards when they're not credible? What makes them holdable in high regards? I'm just simple like that. So Chimizi, if you can just answer that question, that will help. And guys, you're also free to call us. So you can call us on Julie Ngoya's messenger. Just go on Julie Ngoya's messenger. You guys called Dr. Sunday, but for some reasons you've stopped calling us. You used to call us, but you decided not to anymore. But if you can, please do so. If not, continue to write your comments in the comment section, and we will read your comments out. So let's see what else somebody else has said. Chimizi, thank you so much for your engagement. The Bible states that God is not a respecter of persons. Trying this onto credibility would imply that you don't change the standard when it implies to one's person, and twist it when another personality is involved. What's good for the gander isn't good for the goose. It isn't a credible situation. Hey, somebody has decided to call us. Thank you. So who's there? Aisha, hello. I'm okay. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it. So, what do you want to share with us?
I just want to say that you guys are doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
I can tell you are disciples of Dr. Sunday. Come on. Like if you have to have a mentor, like my brother say,
okay,
to be to have runs in life, especially if your mentor is credible. So you ask a question: how do you know if you don't have your mentor, like in social media, like we have Dr. Sunday, we know he's credible. So how do you know if your mentor is credible? So I still want people to answer. I don't know that, and I was saying that is a good question, because we have also to know, how do you know this mentor is good when you don't know who he is, how to follow, what are the characteristics?
Yes.
Forgive my English, I'm French speaking.
It's okay, Aisha. We can hear you clearly and we understand what you're saying. Go ahead, please.
All right, so that's all I want to say. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Aisha. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from USA, Maryland.
Okay.
Oh, Aisha, thank you for calling in.
Thank you very much. So Aisha shared with us that we need to have a mentor, and we can still find find out, even though they're not in the media, we can still find how we can still check them out, right? Am I?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aisha. That was fantastic. Thank you.
And also to add to the issue of mentorship, basically when they hear about mentorship, it's not just the high person that is so high that they cannot reach the person. Okay. Mentorship, there are so many types of mentorship. Somebody influences you, even the person without knowing, he is mentoring you. Okay, that is influence. And your life and my life has been mentored by people without us knowing. Okay, even influence. Okay,
yeah,
that is a form of
course,
mentorship.
we all influence each other,
yes,
in one way or the other.
That is mentorship. So you can assess somebody that has influenced you in the area of your craft, what the area of your gifting. Okay, so that person that is influencing you, that is your mentor. Okay, so it's not just looking for one
person. Okay, so it's not one size fits all. But I find that there's some people that are one size fits all. Dr. Sunday kind of know mostly everything so far that I have discovered.
No, I am talking about in terms of generally when people there are a lot of people that they don't have access to Dr. Sunday.
But they can.
Okay, they don't know that they can have access to Dr. Sunday.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So those type of people is what I'm talking about. You understand? Somebody is influencing them.
Yes.
Okay, without knowing. That is mentorship.
Yes, I agree with that, and I think all of us, even the mentees, is also a mentor, and is also an influencer. If you're influencing somebody somewhere, somehow, maybe sometimes you don't even know, because there was a time, like even siblings, they kind of influence each other. We all influence each other in the environments that we are. So maybe that's one of the reasons also that we need to be careful and do the right thing. And I think the first word from ID in terms of be honest with yourself, that's really key, because you're influencing others and you might not know. If you're not honest with yourself, they probably get in the not so real you and the alternative, which is not, it cannot be good. So being honest with yourself is always key. And the other thing that I got from this is that your mentor doesn't have to be somebody high there or so one person. You can have mentors in various different things. So maybe there's an area that you struggle with and somebody is really good at, that person can be your mentor because they know what to do, they know how to go about it, so they can be your mentor in that area. And I'm also getting that we're not talking about mentorship, but for some reason we're talking about credibility, but this is coming into it. So we're just going to go with the right flow of things, how things are going.
Let me add something like,
sure.
Okay, like before the advent of this what do you call it, this type of education that we have, we were having people with skills. They call them masters. So these people train people with skills. That was why far back in Nigeria, if somebody wants to be a nurse or a medical doctor, before the British came, you don't go to
hospital.
You don't go to hospital to. No, you don't go to school.
You don't go to school, medical school.
So you don't go to medical school. So they were attached to this one man that is gifted.
Apprenticeship.
That is the word.
Sherry has helped us out.
Apprenticeship. Thank you so much. So these people will be with their master, and they will learn this craft until they become masters also. So that is in the area of your gifting. Okay, so there's somebody that you must model, apprenticeship, so that you will be authorized. So that
that's a really good one, and I'm glad that I did mention that, because we're talking about credibility, an attribute of Dr. Sunday that we like to develop, and we've talked about it in so many areas. And bringing this particular subject into apprenticeship, obviously nobody will go to be an apprentice with somebody that haven't mastered their craft, that's somebody that is not credible in that craft. So that's really key to this subject, that yes, apprenticeship is a very good example of you being mentored or being guided by somebody that is credible in that area. So your parents in Africa, or I think it happens also in England. Actually, I think it's even happening much more in the West now, where if you want to develop something, it used to be academic all the way, but they realized that the academic doesn't actually help in the way it should. So they started some years ago that if there's certain types of, maybe it's in the media, or maybe it's in handiworks, like let's say plumbing, or to be an electrician or anything like that, rather than having to just go to school all the time and just learn the theory, then also go with somebody as an apprentice. And I think that is because they found it to be more credible way of learning and developing the skill. So thank you so much for that. That's really good.
Thank you. The Queen.
Thank you very much. So let me read some comments here. Hi Cecile, thank you for joining us. Ucheria, thank you for reminding us of apprenticeship or apprentice. Chimizi, I read that already. Thank you. We have here, Aisha said, no, Maiwa, how do we find out? What are the characteristics to know you have a credible mentor? Thank you very much. Hello, King Idu. Thank you very much. That's Anastasia saying hello to us. Apologies for the typo, no problem. We understand what you're saying, Chimizi. Thank you. What I'm saying is, to your mentor, he's held high, but to others, it doesn't have credibility. Okay, so if you think that it's held high, but others it doesn't have credibility, but it's you that is important. So it's you that you need to watch out for. If it has credibility with you, then I think that it's okay. Right? You can judge. You have your mind and sound. Yeah, you can judge for yourself.
So how can I call?
How can I call? Yes, David, you can contact Julie Ngoya on Messenger. So if you click on Julie Ngoya's name, it will take you to her page or homepage, or maybe, page. Yeah, or just search Julie Ngoya. She's on there right now. Click on it, and once you click on it, you go to Messenger or Messages, and you can click Call. So we also have, thank you, David. We're expecting your call. Suppose your mentor is incredible. You hold, okay, yes, we've dealt with that. Thank you so much. So Chimizi says, the Bible, okay, I've read that.
You read that.
Yeah, thank you. So Oluwatope says, most people ask, what's in it for me? Okay, it's tough to be credible when you're looking for gains. Pastor Sunday is very selfless. Wow, that is really important. We almost missed that out, Oluwatope. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So this is the key as well. This is one important thing as well, that most people always ask for themselves, what's in it for me? So in terms of credibility, it's not about what it's in for you. It is about what you want to give, being selfless. Wow, that's really, really profound. Thank you. So credibility is not looking at what am I going to gain. You just give it out as honest as you can, not because of what you're going to gain, but because of what it is. Again, it refers us back to truth. So first thing is the truth. Be honest with yourself. The second thing is for your environment, right? The second thing is timeless.
Timeless, consistency.
Yes, consistency, and then environment, the people you flock with. And we're talking more about mentor and mentorship and apprenticeship, following somebody. And then we've got the fifth one now, which is that not to think of what it is in for you, to be selfless like Dr. Sunday, and that's probably why he's got that attribute as one of his greatest attributes of credible, because he's selfless. Wow, thank you so much. It's like you live with us in this house, Oluwatope, because that's what we always wonder about Dr. Sunday, that why do you do all this? It's like, you know, that's what he wants to do, you know. He wants to empty himself, selfless. We even talked about it this morning when we were, after shooting one video, which you will see later on, and we were talking about how easy Dr. Sunday shares what he knows with people, free of charge, free of any returns. So it goes back to what Oluwatope is saying. Dr. Sunday just kind of give it freely. You know, a lot of us, I'm talking for myself in terms of coming from the West, and it's always like, don't give nothing. You know, people are not going to, you don't get anything for nothing, or even if you have something as well, you give people kind of like some part of it, and then you get them to pay for the rest, so that you can put value on whatever you have. But Dr. Sunday is not like that. He will give you everything in totality without asking anything for it. So you can ask him, how do I set up a business? How do I become a millionaire? What do I need to do? What do I need to do this? And he'll just give you the full, unfiltered access and information, 360. It doesn't even give you like, okay, just take 10% so that I will still have a treasure in here. No, it pours out everything. And this is again another way that he knows that it's credible. You know, sometimes it's not even my business. I'm just sitting down and I'm thinking, you're giving everything away. But you know what? I am learning as well to be that way, because he just does it so effortlessly. Like, you can tell him, oh, how do I do this in order to gain this? Like, oh, why don't you just do that? It will just give you calm. This is something that other people would say, well, I can give you more information, you can learn more, but come to my seminar, come to my this, and it's going to cost you 3,000, and I've got templates, and I've got this. No, he just says, do this, or he directs you, watch this video and this. I mean, how can you not be credible by giving somebody 100% of what you have, like fully, without any what's the word, like limitation? There's no limits. He just gives you, like, he just gives you everything. So that's how you differ. I'm actually answering my question of how do you develop credibility right here, right now. I even have an example from this morning. Thank you so much for alluding me to that, Oluwatope. That's brilliant. So don't ask what's in for you, like Dr. Sunday. Be selfless. So that's the 5th way of developing these attributes. Then we have Aisha saying that absolutely being honest to your mentor is really good. When your mentor is credible, like Dr. Sunday. Thank you so much. Sherry says, okay, I've read that one. Thank you very much. So I think I've read this one, so I'm going to. We have Wole Banjoko saying, Pastor Sunday is a perfect example of emptying yourself before you go to the grave. Absolutely. I know. You know, the thing about Dr. Sunday, you know already, is that he said he's only giving us 5% of what he's got. 5%, about 5%. So there are 95% of things that is still in that body, in that head, in that person. Is amazing. Yes, so the first thing is that we've been able to empty. So maybe that's why he's always so selfless and giving 100% of what he knows and time. We have another call. I'm so excited. Hello. Hey, David. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you calling from, David?
I'm calling from Ireland.
Okay. Thank you for calling. So what do you want to contribute to the program?
It's about the mentorship, as Heidi said.
Yes.
Like, if you have a mentor and it's not like credible, you know, like there are lots of people, there are different people in different situations. Okay. There are people that they have no means. They look up to their mentors for so many things.
Okay. And
even though they know that the mentor is not credible, or there's no way out for them at that minute, Do you understand? They still have to
Yes.
kind of hang on. Okay, for example, there are lots of, like the third world countries, as it's popularly called, like Africa and other countries. There are lots of people there that they have to look up to people for so many things.
Okay.
And when you're looking up to people for so many things, I'm talking about the people that are so down, like they have no means of doing anything, even though they have the training or whatever, the certificate, everything, but they still have to look up to people for things, and they are in situations like there's nothing they can do. So they're just going to be hanging on there, even though they know that the mentor is not
Credible.
worthy or credible or whatever. They have no, there are lots of people in that situation.
Okay. Is this
There's nothing they can do. They're just there.
Is this a monetary thing? Is this about money or
No,
resources?
not just money. Not just money. Okay, take for example now, my wife, like how much do you think like an average graduate in Nigeria earn a month?
Well-
And you know how much the two-bedroom house is going for at the minute in Nigeria? I mean, it's really that people need to, it's by force mentor, kind of the mentor that you have no choice. You have to look for someone like to just rely on one way or the other. I mean, some people's parents have some money, well, some people's parents don't. And it's just like struggle of the fittest, so there are lots of people in that situation and they have a mentor and the mentor is not credible, but there's nothing they can do at the minute. They're just hanging on there like,
Wow.
okay. There are lots of people. That's one category.
Wow.
Another category is the people that just want to walk and climb same day. The greedy people. If you look at what is going on at the minute, there are lots of young people. I'm talking about secondary school boys now that just want to start using a car.
Okay.
There are loads of that's another category. I mean, they have mentors. Whatever the mentors have them to do, they don't even question it. Okay, go and do this. They are onto it, even though it's not something
It's
that's
not
right.
credible.
They don't even care. And there are lots of such mentors out there now. I mean, more than the good mentors at the minute.
Wow. Wow, David,
So
that's a lot of
the first
insight.
mentor, go on.
Yeah, that's a lot of insight that you've given us. And Chimizi
Yeah,
is saying
that's,
to us,
that's what I'm saying. Like when you and I was saying that, like it goes it's so big. Like the first mentors everyone have is their parents, your mother and your father. Those are the first mentors we don't have. Those are the people we got to know. Then we have our brothers and sisters. Then at some point, some people do not have their parents, and that they have their uncles and aunties, depending on the situation in their home, where people came from. And whatever we learn from them, for example, now someone that got like parents that are always fighting, or the father is always beating the mom and stuff like that, and went to school and shared a room with a guy that came from a home where there's peace. Someone is going to rub on it. They're going to rub on each other one way or the other.
yes,
The other person that came from the home where there's peace might go home and they might see a bit of changes in him. And the one that came from home where they're always fighting might go home and there might be a bit of changes in him.
yes. I think you're going
So
back to the...
people rub on each other
Yes.
one way or the other when you meet. Like it happens a lot.
Thank you very much, David. You've given us so many insights. And Chimizi is saying that the caller is getting my point. He is spot on. So you're actually echoing exactly what some people are saying online. And Chimizi, so thank you. Chimizi is one of the people saying that. And thank you, David, for pointing that out. And also you've echoed a lot of things about we all influence each other. So we are all in some ways mentor to each other, as ID has mentioned. And we started this with the word credibility, which it says that it means that we are all credible in some ways. We started with purpose. So thank you so much for all the insights that you've given us.
You're welcome.
So please do call again some other time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Bye. So guys, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. Sometimes, I don't know a lot of the things that is going on out there in the world. And I'm so grateful to you guys, to Dr. Sunday, and some people, and people around me to kind of open my eyes to what is happening in the world. So what David has just shared with us here is really interesting, and is interesting in the terms of, you know, your environment. I think this actually links again to environment and how you choose mentors, and how some people, by crook or force or some way or the other, they are your mentors. You know that they're not credible, but due to your circumstances and what is happening, then, you know, you learn either good or bad. You learn, and then you also would make your way. And I think some of the things that David mentioned in terms of Nigeria, for example, if a graduate earns a certain amount and you have to stay in somebody's house, you have to, and that person is considered your mentor. I think maybe it's, for me, it's a pragmatic thing. So, you know, I probably won't call that person my mentor, but I do understand that yes, if they're not earning much and they can't live where they are and they have to listen to some people and do what the person says, then they have to, because of the economic reason or environmental reason or resource reason, they have to stay put and listen to them. And it happens a lot in Africa.
And also, everyone, you have this ability for you to reject such type of.
We'll take one more call. Go on.
Okay, because while I was growing up, so this man, he just said to me, "I want to mentor you," and I said no, because of there was some inconsistency that I was seeing in him. I just said no.
So no credibility.
Yes, I said no. I don't want you to mentor me. Let the books that I read mentor me, and my the people that influence me, let them just mentor me.
But you know, David also has a point there that sometimes you cannot say that. You know, you have to just agree. Maybe that's not mentorship, because maybe mentorship have to be something that you decide yourself. But there are situations where people will tell you what to do, but because you can't do otherwise, or you're under their terms, then you just have to do what they say. Chimezi, how are you? Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for calling us.
Hello, Chimeze. Welcome on the.
Where are you calling from, Chimeze?
I'm calling from Calgary.
Calgary in Canada.
Yes.
Thank you very much for calling. So, what would you like to contribute to the show today?
Yeah, I'll just make it quick and sharp. Like I was saying earlier, some of the practices we've been talking about, we've been speaking up against and saying are wrong and are erroneous teachings.
Yes.
There are lots of the people who preach these things. They're in positions where they become mentors, direct mentors, people. And sometimes mentors, we don't have access to them, but we see them from afar, we take them as our mentors, and we learn from them.
Yes.
So when they're teaching these things, they're wrong. And some other people who may know better, for them, this person doesn't have credibility. I know of a certain pastor, when I was back in Nigeria, my landlord, if you mention that man's name, my landlord will tell you, sorry, I don't want to get it out.
Wow.
As far as I was concerned, he didn't have credibility. But however, this same person had lots of followers who held him in high esteem and would literally jump off a cliff if you told them to do that. So that's the point we're trying to make. It's not about, I slightly want to disagree with ID. He brought the issue of trade. Credibility for me is not necessarily about trade. Credibility has to do with character. It has to do with content. It has to do with values. It has to do with the things that are in sync with society. And like we said, timeless. You may be a very good administrator. You may be a very good, name it. You may be a good scientist, but you don't have credibility when it comes to content and character. So, and that's where we have suddenly missed it in our African setting.
Yes.
We see people of means, and we take them to have credibility. They are just experts. They are experts in their trade, but they do not have the kind of character. It's more like what Jesus Christ said. He says, look, this priest and the Pharisees, he says, listen to them, but don't do what they ask you to do, because they're not credible. Jesus said that, and I'm not quoting it exactly correctly, but he said something like that in the scriptures, where he was saying, yeah, listen to them, take their teachings, but you know what, there are people who tell you, don't do what they do, because they are not necessarily living the correct thing. So that's the angle I'm trying to bring it from, and I would like us to really consider it. You may be an expert, you may be a fantastic manager, you may be a fantastic managing director and all the, but then you don't have credibility.
Wow.
Things that have to do with values.
Yes.
And character.
Chimizi, this is brilliant, and thank you so much, because I am glad that we took your call. It was after 8 when we took the call, but I'm so glad that we did, because this is the icing on the cake, and this is what we all really need to imbibe, which is value, character, and other things that is it's not about the skill set that you have or your ability to do something. It's all those other other characteristics, the other core values that are important in maintaining and sustaining the right behavior. If I'm getting that correctly. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you so much. We really need that as a closing statement, because if we don't have this and we think that if somebody can do something, then that means that they're good enough as a mentor, then we might all be digging our own graves with the wrong type of people and imbibing the wrong characteristics. Thank you, or character. Thank you so much,
Timothy. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you. So join us again.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Okay, guys, it's been a wonderful evening. I really appreciate you all. Some guys have been, you guys have been joking about my leg, because I keep saying my wife's leg and laughing going on, but you can't see my leg, so I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I'm sure I will find out. So, guys, it's been such a pleasure being with you. I appreciate you all for engaging with us this evening. You've been brilliant. I hope that you will do that again soon, and every time that we come on. So please feel free to do so. We love it when you engage with us. And don't forget, also this evening you have another opportunity with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Is going to be on 9 p.m. Ukraine time. That's 7 p.m. UK and Nigeria time. So feel free to join us. It's going to continue on the checklist. Today, I believe, is number 6. Is day 6, and we will continue with the checklist. This one is about love, something to do with love and Christianity, or what do you love? Are you a pagan? What do you love? So that will decide if you're a pagan or not, depending on what you love. I can't wait. I really love the evening session. It's a time for me also to learn again, as I have learned in this program. And I really love all you callers and what you have said. You've really opened my eyes to so many things. So I have increased in value just for having this program. I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoy your time too.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. For I have learned so much from you. Amazing time we spent together.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll see you again shortly. Take care. Bye.